Hi guys, this one's basically going to be about seating your operator and what's involved with that, and how to run through safety with your operator as well. So we've gone through kind of basics of doing that. So I'm going to use Nick here, and we're going to run through basically the basics of the operator and positioning your operator on the dolly. So Nick, if you want to come over, and so the first thing to do is remember that on the turnstile here we've got the turnstile brake, so we want to engage the turnstile brake for the operator to come on, and remind the operator, if the operator, you know, if it's a new person, they've never done it, it's like getting on a horse. One leg is a saddle, one leg on either side. Okay? And the first thing that I tend to do is get their eye in level with the eyepiece. So let's say the eyepiece is about here. The way I do that is I just get them to stand up slightly. Yep, and I show them that this adjustment here goes up and down on the seat there, and we adjust that seat until we've got the optimal position there for them, up and down with the eyepiece there. And then the other thing is I get them to stand up a little bit there, and we turn the seat around, in or out, to see which way we're going to bring them, in or out, to get them as close to that eyepiece there as is comfortable for them. And the next thing, the last thing we want to do is remembering that the dolly is going to operate at its optimal, at its best, the closer that we can actually get our operator to the center of the dolly. That's going to make it the most effective balance-wise, and the easiest for you as a dolly grip. The dolly is going to operate at its most effective when you get the weight closest to the center of the dolly. So now that we've done all of that, basically we've got our operator here. The last thing I do is I explain to the operator that on the turnstile here is the brake. When it's pulled towards them here, it's engaged and it's on. It's not going to completely stop all movement, but when they push it away and towards the center, it disengages. And this is the exciting thing for the operator, because it's really new, is now Nick can actually use his legs to push himself around on the dolly. So that's kind of the new thing. So Nick, I'm now going to take you up, and I'm just going to make sure, this is where as an operator, as a dolly grip, you'll need to work out what your best practice is in terms of keeping everything clear, what your checks are going to be. The most common ones are going to be battery cables or something like that. However you're used to using it with Fisher and Chapman, it's going to be pretty similar, except the pieces here on the boom, you might have a few other pieces that are moving around. So we're going to boom up now. Everything looks pretty clear here. We're booming up, coming up nice and slow. Now as we go up, Nick can actually put his feet, go up on the first stages there. So what we've got here is we've got, this is a battery, this is a battery. These batteries are locked in place, and they're screwed in place by these nuts here, and that nothing is going to move those out of place. That's a completely locked in, that's the motor cover there with the radio frequency. Nothing's going to knock that. So Nick can actually pretend like it's a jungle gym when he was a kid, and he can move his feet all around there and kick yourself around as much as you want on that. Move that out of your way. But he can actually do continuous 360s if he wants to, and go around and around and around and around and around. The way that that's actually different is, say you were following something that was really high, like horse racing or something like that. You were doing a western sequence or something that was going like that. You can do that really fast action stuff. What's exciting for operators is that business where an operator has to stop at the end of a shot, and it's quite tricky. They can actually use their leg muscles now to cushion that end of the shot, which is quite nice for them. So rather than having to just use their arm and their upper body to stop the end of the shot, Nick can now use his legs to cushion the end of the shot. So for operators, they can actually start designing and using different muscles to do the shots. And you'll find that a lot of operators kind of fall in love with this style of operating and column dollies for this reason. As I go further up, now I'm going to take you up a bit higher, Nick. He can use the next stage on the column dolly for his feet as we go further up. There we go. Top, and as we come down, I'm checking everything here again. Work out what your best practice is going to be in terms of these coming up, coming down, to check everything. Coming down. The most common thing is that you're going to be set on a static for a long time in this position. You may be up here for 2 hours or something, shooting up here, and within that time an apple box has been put here for whatever reason, and something and people have forgotten, and then you're coming down and this will get caught on the apple box. Normally this will stop and an emergency stop will come up here. You may have to restart the dolly to do that. It's not a big problem. You'll have to recalibrate that. I can take you through all of that. It's not a huge problem. What is a huge problem is if Nick's foot is there. That's a big problem. So that's where I talk about having best practice and checking through all those sorts of things before you start doing your dolly move, that you and your operator are clear on what your system is before you do your dolly, before you do your boom move. Alright, we're coming down, watching everything. Coming down. And then your feet are going to go to the next one down. There we go. And just kick yourself around a bit. Nice. And that's about it.